So, before we get started on today, remember how like Tuesday I was telling you how setting up the equation is like 30, 40 points and then solving the equation is 30, 40 points? Today is the other 20 points. What we're doing is today, after today, you're not learning anything new next week. We are going to practice on Monday and then quiz. Tuesday, we're going to do Schoology assignment. Wednesday, we review. Thursday, you test. Friday, you have a 4-day weekend. So, good news. Before we get started, can anybody tell me what do you do to undo or get rid of addition? Subtract. Do y'all agree with that? You're just looking up at my board, please, not at your computers. This is not anywhere. Don't write this down. What do you do to undo multiplying? You divide. Do y'all agree with that? Yes. You're not writing this down. Look up. What about to undo squaring?
Unsquare it?
What's unsquare it? Do y'all agree square root is the opposite, or not the opposite, to get rid of squared? Yeah. What are we going to do today to undo sine, cosine, and tangent? We are going to do something called inverse. Can everybody say inverse? Inverse. Okay? So I want everybody to go to Desmos. And I want you to hit the little keyboard in the bottom left. Everybody do this with me. And then I want you to hit the functions button. Do you see where we have sine, cosine, and tangent? And you might just have these three in yours, depending on if you have like the black up top. Right under that, what does it say right here?
-1.
The inverse trig functions. And what do all of them have with them? So my inverse trig functions are cosine, that's cosine inverse, this is sine inverse, and this is tan inverse. And this is what we are going to use to get rid of those things. So I would like you to please go to your notes that you picked up today when you walked in. At the top it says, when the variable is on top, remember variable is like another word for a letter, an X. When the variable is on top, what did we do?
Multiply?
We multiply. Everybody write multiply there. What about when our variable is on the bottom? When X is on bottom, what did we do? We are going to switch and divide. Switch and divide. If the variable is the angle, which is what we are doing today, we are going to do inverse. And that means we're choosing the ones with the little -1 up top. What do I mean by that? Well, do you see, let me pull up my notes from the other day. Do you see how the other day we were just typing in sine of 68 degrees, 3 sine of 24 degrees? We were typing in the degrees every time. Today, I have a blank right here. I don't know what the degrees are, but I know what it equals. So how can I find the degrees? How can I get this blank by itself? I have to get rid of cosine. How do I get rid of cosine? Inverse. I'm going to do cosine inverse. Can everybody write that down right there? And what you do to one side, you do to the other. And those cancel each other out. And my answer, my blank, is just going to be that in the calculator. So please type that into your calculator. We're going to type in, hit the functions button, cosine inverse of 0.8516. And this time, if you read the directions, it says solve for the missing angle, round to the 10th. The 10th is how many decimals? 1. So we're just going to have 1 decimal on all these. So what is my answer going to be right here? 31.6 is my answer. And this is an angle, so you need to put degrees. 31.6 degrees is your answer. Write that down. Anytime you are looking for an angle, you're going to hit functions and hit one of the inverses. So what about for tangent? What am I going to do here? How do I get rid of this tangent? Tan inverse. And what we do to one side, do to the other. And those tangents and tan inverse cancel. And I just type this in the calculator. Functions tan inverse. Oh, don't do that. Yeah. Oh, bless you. You didn't have a question, right?
No.
Okay. 1.3520. What is my answer? 53.5 what? Degrees. Is it really that easy? Is that all we're really doing? Yeah, you do the next one on your own. If you're not getting the same answers as me, what's wrong? Make sure you're in degree mode. Hit the wrench. What did we get for this blank? 30.2 degrees. Do I have any questions?
Nope.
This is pretty good, right? Now, for my next ones. These next problems are the exact same thing. Do you see how it has the angle A, angle B, angle B, angle B? I want to find an angle. If you want to find an angle, what did we say to do? Inverse. What's the only difference for these? It has a fraction, but that doesn't matter. So, how do I get A by itself right here? Tan inverse. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. If it's asking for an angle. So do you see how right here it's asking for angle A? If my question's asking for an angle, you're going to do inverse every time. Yep. All right, so let's do, what is the tan inverse of 3 over 4? Let me do that right here. Tan inverse of 3 over 4 is 36 point what? 36.9 degrees. What about this next one? How do I find angle B right here? Same thing. I just got a cosine inverse. Now, I need everybody to look up, please. Look up real quick. When I cosine inverse, do you see it how it has square root of 3 over 2? Watch me do this. Square root of 3. If you just divide by 2, is this the same as what's here? No, do you see how that square root, the check mark, goes all the way down? I don't want that. So, you're going to do two things. You can either arrow over right here and then divide by 2 and it'll get out. Or, when you hit cosine, if you then hit divide, it'll give you the fraction right away. And then it'll do. What is my answer when it's square root of 3 over 2? 30 degrees is my answer. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I want you to do the next two. Go.
30 seconds for that?
Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Sorry. Oh no, a pen exploded on me.
Wait, miss, how do you do this thing again?
Hit functions.
No, for the square.
Oh, the square root. Hit square root and then type the number and then arrow to the right to get out of the square root.
Will the square root always be a whole number?
No. It just happened that way here, but no, that will not always work out. Did you get it, Carrie? So we have inverse, sine, square root of 2, arrow over. Only if you need to. For that next one, look up when you get your answer. Did you get 45 degrees for that first one? If you did not get 45 degrees, you must have typed something in wrong. I can check it if you need me to. Mr. F can check it if you need him to. And then did y'all get 51.3? Okay. All right. Do I have any questions about just typing this in? That is 12 questions on your assignment today. Typing it in the calculator. Yeah, super easy. Now we're going to combine what we did yesterday and today. At the top right here, not at the top, but in the middle, can y'all please write so, ka, toa. Again, make sure you're writing neat so you don't think that's an A and that's an H and you're confusing these. What do I have here?
Wait, for the second, you just put that on the board.
Yeah, you're going to get that on the board. All right, what do I have here? What have I given you? No.
You have a hypotenuse for the first one.
I have a hypotenuse, so let's label that first. What else do I have? There's no degrees. And do y'all see how x this time is the degrees?
Yes.
That's the difference between this. If I'm looking for a degree, I know I'm going to do inverse. How does x compare to 20? What are these? It's a cross, so what does that mean? It is opposite. If I have opposite and hypotenuse, what do I have? So this is going to be the sine. What is my angle? X. So the sine of x equals, so is O over H. What is my opposite over my hypotenuse? 20 over 32. And what do I do here?
Put in
How do I get x by itself?
sine.
Inverse. I'm going to do what we just did. I'm going to inverse and what you do to one side. And put this in the calculator. What is the inverse sine of 20 over 32? The inverse sine of 20 over 32, correct, is 38.7. 38.7 degrees. It's an angle, we're finding the degrees. What questions do I have? Do you agree we're just kind of combining what we just learned to yesterday? Yeah. Can I move to the next one? What do I do? And the first thing I do? Label the hypotenuse. What do we notice? There's no hypotenuse, which means this is TOA, tan. Right off the bat, there's no hypotenuse every time. The tangent of what? What's my angle? X equals TOA, O over A.
6.
My 6 is opposite because it's a cross. What's adjacent? 8. 8 is adjacent because it's next to. How do we get x by itself? Inverse. And what is the inverse tangent of 6 divided by 8? What does x equal? 36.9 what? Degrees. Do I have any questions? Emma, you with me? Sophia, you with me?
Yes, I think this
promise you won't.
Nah.
I want you to try the last one on your own. Go. I'll give you 1 minute. Do the last one on your own.
Don't do that again. Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shucks.
What did we get as our answer? 62.0 degrees. Did y'all all agree that this is cosine? It's adjacent, it's right next to, and hypotenuse, which is ca. A over H, and do inverse. Do I have any questions about any steps I took?
No.
All right, we have 27 minutes, but 2 things. Number 1, this is going to go on page 49. 3 things. So please, did everybody write this down? Can I change it? Please add this to page 49. Title it Trig Inverse.
Miss, I think it's quiet because Andre is gone.
100%.
That's why we have more time.
100.
Hey, look Andre.
No. She answers my questions.
Carrie, I'll be over there in a second, okay?
1, 2. You're alive.
Hold on, let me look in. I'll be there right now.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay, well, look, Carrie.
What?
Do this side, and I'm gonna do this side.
That. Okay.
What a talking about.
Okay. Once you glue this in, please everybody glue this in. You have a worksheet that is 19 problems. It will be for a grade. Y'all, the whole front is just calculator. All right. After you're done and you turn this in, there was a Schoology assignment on Tuesday. Have you turned that in? There was a 20 question worksheet yesterday and Tuesday. Have you turned that in? Or Wednesday and Thursday. Remember we spent both days on it? Both those things and this are your grades for the week. So please, before the bell rings today, y'all have 26 minutes. Please make sure all 3 of those things have been turned into me before you leave.
Can you tell